You know, 15 years ago, sport touring was extremely popular. Big bore sport bikes modified with bigger fairings, more upright ergonomics, and hard-sided saddlebags were known back in the day as a gentleman's express. But then Ewing McGregor and Charlie Borman came the long way round, and suddenly adventure touring was all the rage. And sport touring was kinda kicked to the weeds. Well, fast forward a decade or so, and thankfully BMW has decided to bring back their popular sport touring weapon, the R1200RS. This time building it around their newest generation liquid-cooled R1200GS Boxer engine. Under the 3/4 fairing up front, you'll find a nice beefy inverted fork and a pair of Brembo radial-mounted calipers, while out back, BMW's classic pair lever single-sided swing arm and shaft final drive hold court. In the electronics department, there's plenty of bells and whistles this time around, as ABS, 2-engine management ride modes, and automatic stability control are standard. So how does this newest generation sport touring machine work out on the open road? Well, here now is Triumph Bonneville polisher and BMW RT owner, Kemp Stewart.
So Kemp, what was your first impression when you threw a leg over this morning?
The first impression was actually that it was a well-balanced bike, and typical BMW seemed a little heavier than most bikes of its size, but boy, when I first started driving it, it didn't feel like a heavy bike at all. In fact, it just weighs over 500 pounds.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about that engine. It's the classic horizontally opposed.
Yes.
In this case, the modern version, the water air-cooled Boxster engine. What did you think of the motor?
Oh, loved it. It's very responsive. 1200, it's technically 1170 cc's, 125 horsepower. You can cruise all day and keep up with the traffic, certainly in North America.
Yeah.
The thing that really impressed me, though, was the transmission system has changed significantly from even the RT that I rode last year. Mm-hmm. That it doesn't have that heavy clunk when shifting. This is really smooth with the Pro shifter on it. It's super.
Brakes, you've got the dual brakes, Brembo's up front, ABS. Did you find there was enough stopping
Very
power?
responsive, no question. Could stop on a dime, and in fact, actually threw me a little forward a couple of times. It was behaving so well.
What I liked about it for me was the riding position.
Yep.
It's still a lot of leg room, even though you're in a sport bike configuration to a degree. A lot of leg room, great saddle, and then just enough sort of lean forward. Not a lot, but just a little lean forward. And I just found that it was super comfortable.
Over a couple of days, I think there would be a tendency to cramp up and that sort of thing. But for a day or two, especially for younger folks, I think it's, you're not feeling stretched. It's feeling really good.
Cool. How did you like the instrument pod on this?
Loved the instrument pod.
Yeah.
Now I'm at the stage in life where even my sunglasses have bifocals in them, and I didn't even need that. I could see clearly the speeds. The whole display is right there without having to look for it. Certainly the TAC is very easy to read.
Yeah. A lot of information there too, like a lot of information.
Yeah.
Fit finish.
This being more of a sports bike, it's only got a half a fairing. But I found that you get lots of protection, and it goes back to the touring aspect that unless you got into a torrential downpour, which is never fun to drive on a motorcycle, I think there's more than adequate protection.
Yeah.
The only weakness that I found, and maybe it's a personal bugbear, is that this windscreen is very, very much a sports windscreen, but it's really quite low. So that's the extent of it. Now I do like the wind in my face, but again, if you're doing some touring, you're going to be chewing some bugs.
Right. Can you just describe the overall riding experience? What were you hearing? Was the motor pleasant to hear? Could you hear it? What kind of riding position were you in? What was the experience like today?
It was really, really comfortable. The motor is strong. It just sounded so great. Love the Boxster sound. Love the transmission and how smooth we were able to shift through the gears.
Yeah.
The ride was comfortable. Everything was intuitively where it should be, and I think that's a really important. You don't have to look around finding things; they're where they should be.
Yeah.
Overall, I could not recommend this highly enough. It's and as I say, I really think for somebody in their late 20s, early 30s, that have maybe had a couple of motorcycles, this would be a great step up for them, and boy, they won't be disappointed. Being a road bike or a city bike, a touring bike, or it's got that sports characteristics and all the power that you would need.
Wonderful. Well, thanks for coming out today and
David,
and
my
sampling
pleasure.
it.
Thanks very much.
Great job.